Edition of Newswatch 18, 3 finalists have been selected for the title of Engineering Dean.
And we have a feature on Tom Hill.
We also have the details on all your Cyclone sports and weather. Stay tuned for all this and more. You're watching Newswatch 18.
Newswatch 18 starts now.
Okay.
I'm Catherine Kuckelman.
And I'm Scott Strelo. First, we turn to meteorologist Christy Carter to give you an idea on this week's weather. What's the forecast, Christy?
Well, we'll actually give you that forecast a little bit later in the show, so you're going to have to hold on for that. But let's go ahead and take a look at that day planner for tomorrow. If we actually look at it, you'll see 7 a.m., 32 degrees, 12 p.m., 49 degrees, but by 3 p.m. tomorrow, a 52-degree temperature, so it's going to be pretty nice, a little bit warmer than it was yesterday. It might be a little windy, but not too bad, but we'll have more in the forecast coming up later.
The Iowa State University Entrepreneur Club won first place at the National Collegiate Entrepreneurs Organization Conference in Chicago, Illinois. They won in the category of Campus E-Diffusion. The award was given for the club's efforts of getting students, specifically ones outside of the business school, involved in entrepreneurship. ISU won first place out of 245 other groups from around the country. Along with the win, students also got to serve as panelists, present speeches, and even network with other students.
3 finalists have been named for Iowa State University's Dean of the College of Engineering. The finalists are Robert Bishop, Mark Law, and Sarah Rajala, all of whom are Deans of Engineering at other universities. Each candidate will have meetings with the members of the College of Engineering and of the university itself in an open forum. The forum is open to everyone and will be held in the Alliant Energy Lee-Lou Auditorium in Howe Hall. The forums will be held towards the end of November and early December.
Before getting a career in education, Tom Hill was an athlete who competed in the 1972 Olympics in Munich. Ben Theobald has the story.
Dr. Tom Hill, Vice President of Student Affairs at Iowa State, has always pushed for success, which shows in his background. Hill won the bronze medal in the 1972 Olympic Games for the 110-meter high hurdles. After 40 years, Hill recalls his experience dealing with segregation.
We had signs, I guess you would say, along the way going to the games, and it began with competing in pre-Olympic meets. The black athletes and the white athletes came in on separate buses, and they could not run against each other in the meet, which was really weird. And so that was in a pre-Olympic meet. We then began to raise questions about that and challenge the system.
I'm standing in front of Beardshear Hall, the administrative building on Iowa State's campus, where Dr. Tom Hill will be starting his 16th year as Vice President of Student Affairs. Colleagues who have worked with Tom Hill over the years say that he always pushes those around him to be at their best.
He is so focused on excellence, and he's also very, very student-focused. Everything is about the students. I'm amazed at how many students that he finds time to meet with on an individual basis, and how concerned he is about every single student that he talks to.
When Dr. Hill first came in, whenever you have a new vice president coming in, you're just not really sure what kind of tenor they're going to set, what kind of style they have, what kind of vision, what kind of values. And I remember that Dr. Hill sat down with his cabinet, and I'm part of that cabinet, all the directors of the units within Student Affairs. And one of the things that he had said to us is that we all need to be a good team together.
Reporting for ISU TV, I'm Ben Theobald.
Before coming to Iowa State, Tom Hill was the Dean for Student Services for 4 years at the University of Florida.
Substance abuse treatment has been further linked to substantial improvement in both individual and community life. According to a report released today by the Iowa Department of Public Health, nearly half of patients who underwent substance abuse treatment reported that they were no longer using their substance of choice. Of those who did report substance use after discharge, 40% reported that they were using their primary substance with less frequency. This helps Iowa communities as employment nearly doubles after treatment.
Award-winning CNN political news reporter Candy Crowley visits Ames today to answer questions and give insight about recent political events. As CNN's chief political correspondent, Candy Crowley leads their coverage of presidential, congressional, gubernatorial, and major legislative developments. She also became the first woman in over 2 decades to host a presidential debate, which occurred on October 16th. With interactive Q&A sessions, she has been able to help educate students and faculty on the results of the 2012 presidential election, as well as what we can expect for the future. Her visit celebrates the 20th anniversary of Carrie Chapman's Cat Center for Women in Politics, an organization formed at ISU to help further women's careers and opportunities. To find more about Candy Crowley or take a look at her work in political coverage, visit CNN.com.
Chandler, I heard we had another big weekend for Cyclone sports. What's been going on?
Well, Catherine, we suffered a pretty bad loss Saturday, but basketball started up. I have all that and more after the break. 18. I'm Chandler Nissenson with your Cyclone Sports. The Iowa State basketball team came out with a win over Alabama A&M Monday night at Hilton Coliseum, blowing out the Bulldogs 98-40. The Cyclones wasted little time and took control of the game with a 17-2 run midway through the first half. Iowa State head coach Fred Hoiberg says senior guard Will Clyburn was a key reason for Iowa State's success early on in the game.
Jumped on them early. That's the thing I was looking for. We did not do a good job against Southern of getting on them early and making them uncomfortable, and that's what we did. I felt we had too many turnovers in the first half. We had 9 at halftime, and then second half we did a much better job getting that ball flowing around the perimeter and getting the ball in the paint where we got some good touches. So overall, I was pleased with tonight, but that's what we're supposed to do.
Freshman George Niang scored 9 points on 4 of 5 shooting in the first half. Tyrus McGee came in strong in the second half, scoring 15 points of his 18 points and hit 4 of 6 shots from downtown to help Iowa State stay unbeaten. Will Clyburn was also added 13 points and 8 boards. The Cyclones' 58-point win ties for the 6th best margin of victory in school history. Iowa State's next opponent is Campbell on Sunday at Hilton. On Saturday, the Cyclone football team took the field down in Austin, Texas, with hopes of taking down the 19th-ranked Longhorns. The Longhorns came out strong, scoring the game's first 20 points, spurred from a strong rushing attack and an efficient David Ash at quarterback. The Cyclones would fight back to score 1 touchdown before the half on a connection from Jance to Quentin Bunderidge. But that would be all the Longhorn defense would allow. The Longhorns dominated the second half and went on to win 33-7. The Cyclones were outplayed on the day, giving up 609 yards of total offense while gaining less than 300 themselves. Big 12 play has been tough on the Cyclones thus far, handing them all 5 of their losses, but they look to recover next week in Lawrence against the struggling Kansas Jayhawk squad. The Cyclone volleyball team's win streak went to 6 on Saturday with their sweep against the Oklahoma Sooners. Freshman Andy Malloy recorded her first ever double-digit kill performance, leading the Cyclones with 12. Kristen Hahn also came out strong with 23 digs, her 12th match of the season with at least 20. Iowa State outblocked Oklahoma 9-2 behind 5 blocks assists from Jamie Stroud, while Malloy had her career best of 4 block assists. The Cyclones held a 20-17 lead when Oklahoma called timeout in the third set and came back to tie the score. Iowa State offense held their end and took 5 of the final 6 points for the 25-21 win. The Cyclones play a talented Kansas State team tomorrow. The Wildcats swept the Cyclones last month down in Manhattan. The match begins at 5 p.m. and will be aired on ESPNU. Admission is free to all students. The Iowa State women's basketball team went in confident and ready to take on Western Illinois at Hilton Coliseum Sunday. Senior Chelsea Poppins had a 23-point, 15-rebound double-double in the Big 12 season opening win. Poppins' basket at the 18:37 mark of her first half made her the 23rd player in school history to top the 1,000-point mark. Freshman Amaya Bingley filled in for point guard Nikki Moody, who was out with an illness, and had 11 assists, along with 6 points. Poppins kept Iowa State within striking distance, shooting 6 of 8 from the field with 17 points and 7 rebounds, but trailed off 40-38 at the half. The Cyclones struggled early, but eventually found their shot and stepped up on the defense in the second half, winning 84-65. The Twister sisters take the court on Sunday against North Dakota. That's all I've got for sports. Christy, how's the weather?
Well, we gave you Look at the day planner for tomorrow, but we'll have a look at the week ahead and what's in store after this break. This is Newswatch 18.
Cyclone Insiders. Talking Iowa State sports with Matt Van Winkle, Sam Turner, and Andrew Schneider. Game recaps, previews, predictions, and interviews with Iowa State athletes and coaches. If you're a Cyclone sports fan, tune in to Cyclone Insiders. A new episode every week on ISU TV, Mediacom Channel 18, and on your YouTube page, ISU TV. It's Cyclone Insiders.
Welcome back to Newswatch 18. I'm Christy Carter with your Cyclone weather tonight. Let's take a look at what we had today. We saw a high of 48, low of 17. It was quite chilly when we walked out there this morning. But let's take a look at this rainfall. We're actually a little bit closer to normal, only about an inch under, because we got that nice rainstorm on Sunday. It was actually pretty cold rain, but at least it was some needed precipitation. Taking a look at our current temps around the state, 40 degrees in Ames, 35 up in Mason City, 38 down in Ottumwa. Things are looking pretty chilly, and those temperatures are going to keep dropping as the night goes on. Let's take a look at those current winds. We have some southeast winds, 8 miles an hour in Ames, 3 miles an hour over in Sioux City. Those are pretty light, so they aren't really going to be a big deal tonight. Tonight's lows, 31 here in Ames, 30 up in Mason City, 29 over in Waterloo. So it's actually not going to be quite as cold as it was yesterday. That's going to be a little bit nicer when you guys get up for tomorrow. So 52 in Ames for tomorrow's high, 54 over in Council Bluffs, 52 over in Sioux City. A little bit warmer than it was today. And if we look around the region, seeing about the same thing, except you actually have some 60-degree temperatures for the high tomorrow in Hayes, Kansas. So it'll be really nice down there. Let's take a look at our clouds radar. As we take a look at this, as it moves on, we'll actually see these clouds move into Iowa overnight. So it's going to be a little bit cloudy, and then it's going to start to clear up in the morning. We'll take a more look at that just in a few minutes. Let's take a look over here at Montana. This is basically the biggest weather that's going on for tonight. We have the winter weather advisory out. Otherwise, not too much going on along most of the country. So let's go ahead and move on and look a little bit closer to home. Let's look at these clouds that are going to start moving in tonight. So they started moving in as the day actually went on, and they'll move through overnight, and they'll be gone within the early morning hours. So that'll be pretty nice. Let's take a look at the future cast. Here, there's not too much that's going to go on for most of the next 2 days at least. So we have this low pressure system that's going to start coming in with this cold front that's going to drop temperatures a little bit as we head into the weekend, but we'll take a look at that in just a second. So one more time to recap, tonight 31 degrees, kind of chilly, but not nearly as chilly as it was yesterday. Tomorrow 52, slightly warmer. It's actually going to be pretty nice in there. And if we take a look at that long range forecast, we see Wednesday 49, and then you see that cold front start to come through that'll drop temperatures only slightly for Friday. And into the weekend, things are looking pretty much the same. Lows are sitting in the upper 30s, so not going to be too bad for the rest of the week. And with that, I'll send it back to the desk.
To celebrate Veterans Day, the group We Support Our Troops handed out yellow ribbons on Central Campus. The club consists of Iowa State women with loved ones currently in the armed forces. One of their main purposes of the club is to support each other through the hardships of military life. They also are involved with other veterans organizations such as the American Legion. Along with special events, they have meetings once a month.
I love that name, Catherine, Supporting Our Troops.
It's pretty clever.
And if you missed Veterans Day yesterday, don't worry. This Thursday there will be a reception in the Great Hall of the Memorial Union celebrating the 3rd Annual Statewide Veterans Conference, recognizing the hard work of our military service members, including many ISU alumni. Join Vice President of Student Affairs John Hill for a special night of remembrance. This event starts at 4:30 p.m. on Thursday in the Great Hall of the Memorial Union. There's no cost for attendance.
If you were out and about on Saturday night, you might have noticed a strange glow coming from Central Campus. Kyle Steingraber and Lisa Villa tell you more.
Students gathered on Central Campus Saturday night to kick off IRHA's annual Fall Fest.
Came out here for IRHA. It's the Inter-Residence Hall Association. They're putting on this great event here on Central Campus tonight.
275 glow sticks were distributed on the grounds that could be redeemed for various prizes. Participants could win anything from bracelets to futons while getting to know one another.
It brings people together. It brings people to do something together to, I guess, win prizes, have fun, have some enjoyment on a Saturday night.
It helps build, community within the student body, and also kind of gets the students to work together more. And also, students kind of deserve a break.
Before I came down, I ran down the hallway and gathered up everybody that I could. Even though we got here a little late, I feel like people were impressed with the turnout and impressed with the prizes. And all in all, we got to spend a little bit more time together, grow a little bit closer.
I think it was awesome. I got to meet other people from other areas of campus, other dorms. It was a good time.
With Kyle Steingraber, I'm Lisandra Villa, ISU TV.
Watch this Thursday night's Newswatch for more updates on the IRHA Fall Fest.
So, I know we mentioned it earlier, but things are actually going to look pretty nice for the rest of the week. But if you start looking into next week, which I think it'll be Nathan who has the more updates on that on Thursday, things are going to be kind of chilly next week for Thanksgiving.
So Thanksgiving Day is going to be pretty cold?
Not necessarily Thanksgiving Day, but in general, the highs next week are going to be a little chilly. The game on next Friday is looking pretty cold at this point. At least it's a 2:30 p.m. kickoff, so it might be okay, middle of the day. But the early morning, at least when probably the tailgaters are going to get out there, it's going to be a little frosty.
Very true. It's been pretty good weather so far, so we've been pretty lucky, I'd say.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Be sure to tune in on Thursday night at 8 for your Cyclone sports, news, and weather. Have a fantastic weekend, Ames.
Have a fantastic week.